Know the working environment. Where's your working environment? Out there. Know your working environment. Know your communities. When you get hired on, some of you may choose to live in your community, some of you may not be able to, for all sorts of reasons. But know the community you work in and make that face contact with those folks. Because when you're at a grocery store getting your groceries, because that's what we have to do to eat, right? And somebody comes up to you and says, hey, why are you here? Do you give them, I'm getting my groceries comment? Why are you here? I'm here to protect you. Know your working environment. Know the people that you work for and you work with. Know the structures out there. Know if you've got buildings that are built in the 1850s. Know what balloon construction is. You know, we don't take a whole lot of, in the fire service, that evolution. You've probably heard we had a lot, after World War II, had a lot of firefighters come back, a lot of hands-on. Fire service was more of a blue-collar, so we had a lot of trades entering the fire service coming out of the military. We have transitioned. We don't have a whole lot of trades coming into the fire service. So things like construction techniques, being able to work on, understanding how vehicles operate, those aren't our strong suits anymore. We have other strong suits. But you need to understand what's out there in your community. So you need to understand building construction. You need to understand your water supply system. You need to know that when you connect to that hydrant, you're going to be lucky if you get 200 gallons a minute. And if I connect to that hydrant and I get 200, where can I find a hydrant close that's got better water supply? You need to understand and know your community and that work environment. And again, everything I'm talking about is the work environment out there. The station is just a piece of it. Know your responsibilities to your public. Don't ever forget who you work for. I'm not saying you're a servant. I'm just saying don't ever forget who you work for. It's a privilege to have this job. And you have a responsibility to it. Have the ability to adapt and overcome. Is every day the same in the fire service? Nope. It's one reason why I love this job. In 5 years, well, even before I came to the state, there was not one day that I came to work where I said, God, I'm bored today. God, I don't want to do that. Okay, there may have been one time in a board meeting where I said I didn't want to do that. Overall, not one day was boring. Every day is an opportunity. Again, it's a privilege to do this. Got a darn good job, work with a darn good group of folks. I get to talk to my community every day. But every day is different, and you'll be put into situations that may not have come up at an academy, right? Can you think on Can you rationale quickly, evaluate a situation and adjust something to make it work? They may have told you that doing X, Y, Z is what you do every single time. There's a reason why when you go through an academy, it's repetition, so that it's non-thinking. Because remember, we only said 17% of those calls are fires, so you may only get a chance to connect to a hydrant once every couple months. When it comes time to connect to the hydrant, you want to be able to do it very quickly without even thinking, right? Well, there'll be times when that repetition, you gotta switch gears and move on and find another way of doing something, especially as technology changes. And business and technology changes so quickly that sometimes the fire service can't keep up, and so we get called to something and all of a sudden, I've never seen this before. So we have to learn to adapt and overcome. And I think about USART, and I think about technical rescue. Those situations, you may not be able to do it the same way every time. You've got to adapt and overcome and understand your equipment to be able to do the operation. So you got to be quick on your feet. Got to pay attention. Because remember, up here, this is a big Rolodex. And Rolodex. Okay, that before there were computers and databases, there were Rolodexes. Okay, it's a great big database up here, and you open up click and open the file, and there are life experiences in there. And those life experiences help you adapt and overcome. That's why you need to pay attention, admit when you did something wrong, and move on. Correct the action and move on. But it's up there so that you can constantly pull from that experience